Picture for a moment, a young lad, 2018 or 19, and I'm in high school and my English teacher knows I like reading, and he hands me Art and Arcana, a recent collection, at the time, of D&D art and a fairly comprehensive history of the game. Young me gets super excited by the concept of D&D and buys the player's handbook, the DMG, the monster manual soon after. The monster manual was actually stolen by a porch pirate. That took a bit longer to get to me. With no proper context of what D&D is besides the books and some YouTube videos, I read the books cover to cover. In this not yet experienced state, I came by a rule that seemed super cool. Let me bring you to page 272 of the DMG, where lingering injuries are presented. Now, I like this table quite a bit actually. The concept that an injury is more than just surviving a sword strike until you don't could add some realism to the game. So if we add one of these effects to, say, critical hits to be more realistic, which is a suggested time to roll on the lingering injury table in the DMG, and apply it both to players and monsters so it's equal, that'd be fair, right? This is why I'm glad I got to play in a campaign before I DM'd 5e. I did DM before I played it, but I DM'd a different system because PDFs are much easier to distribute with your friends. I believe my first game was Mutants and Masterminds. Very fun game. But that aside, the problem with this table, and the reason why I've never actually DM'd with it after I discovered the issue, is sometimes certain concepts of realism, as much as I love realism in my games, need to be sacrificed for the game so that the gameplay isn't thrown out in its name. See, if I hit a monster and get a crit and we roll a lingering injury for that monster, it's kind of fun. He's disadvantaged for the rest of the battle, and then you move on. If a player gets that injury and it can't be healed quickly, that kinda sucks, because keep in mind, the players are the ones we're following. We're not following these monsters. This monster, if it escapes, we will never see it again. Most of the injuries listed can be healed with magical healing, but you know what can't be healed with magical healing? That's a missing arm, a missing leg, a missing eye. Combine those three things, have a 15% chance of happening if you get critical hit. And remember, this is critical hits and you're in a game where you're rolling fairly frequently. That's going to happen eventually on a long enough timeline as you play. So if any of this happens before, say, level 5, where you're starting to get built up and can start getting magic a bit easier, there's a solid chance a player's just missing a limb that can't be healed, and that can just kill a game. The table's fun, it just needs to be used sparingly. I've seen suggestions for when you hit 0 hit points, or maybe only whenever there's like a special story event that justifies it. Thank you for your time. See you next week.